Hi there, it's Suzanne from DiscoverChange. We specialize in accelerating business change, innovation, and development. Now, let's talk about that. How can you accelerate your business growth and development? Because it's so important that we focus on continuously improving our business so that you can make life easier for yourself. Because isn't business pretty tough already as it is? And you as a leader, I'm sure I don't need to tell you or remind you that it can get very challenging. It can get quite stressful. And also the more things you do, the more things you're juggling in the air. Maybe you have staff, maybe you have a bunch of processes. Maybe there are lots of people that would like to buy from you. Maybe there are not many people at all that want to buy from you. Now, let's analyze those aspects. And there are a lot of people that say, well, I don't know why I'm not growing. Why is my business not getting better? And I've got so much value to give. And, the people that I have worked with really love my products and service. So what's going wrong? Why can't I scale? Why can't I improve? Why can't I make more sales? Why can't I negotiate the deals that I want to? Why don't I even get to the deals? And for example, I've been in business for a few years now, and I've had all these problems. But what do I do all the time is I ask the why question. Why didn't this happen? Why did this happen? Why didn't it? And why are things going that way where I wanted to go this way? Now, this why question is really important, and actually how we answer why am I not succeeding in the way that I want, we gotta really be constructive about the way that we answer that question. Now, what does that mean? Now, first of all, one thing that I must say, I've worked with a lot of entrepreneurs over the last few years, fantastic business owners, consultants of all kinds. And I absolutely love working with ambitious entrepreneurs who, they just strive for the best. And I'm very much like that. I'm always striving to do something really big and transformational, ambitious, and not everybody understands that, by the way. So when you've got big dreams and goals and ideas, not everybody will understand that. But what will happen is most of the time people, when they're not succeeding well in their business, one issue is that they self-sabotage. As a consequence, they start to self-sabotage. Now, one thing is for sure, self-sabotage isn't going to lead really anything good. Now, it's important to identify our weaknesses, and I'll come back to that in a moment, but self-sabotage isn't going to make a great deal of improvement in your business. I heard, I often listen to fantastic sales trainers and motivational speakers of all kinds, and one guy, maybe you've heard of him. If you haven't, please check him up and watch his videos. Grant Cardone, American sales guy and trainer. He says, complaining doesn't make any money. Complaining doesn't make any money. So whether you're complaining to yourself or whether you're complaining to the world, it doesn't matter, because it doesn't make any money. So what we need to do is we need to remove the critical thinking in terms of the self-sabotage and, why is this always happening to me? Why aren't things working the way I want to? We have to ask that question, indeed, why? And now let's move on to analyzing why does it actually then happen? One, everything depends on your decision making. And some people say, don't go there. And, they shy away from taking full responsibility. I'm sure I don't have to tell you this. I'm sure you already know this. But you obviously are fully in charge of what happens in your business. You can look at it in a couple of different ways. You can look at it and think, wow, I've got limitless potential. I can take my business anywhere. I can be nationwide. I can even go international if I want to. Everybody wants to go big. Everybody has big dreams. But the question really is, do your actions match your goals? Everybody has big goals. Everybody wants to achieve this and that and all the money and all the houses and la, la, la. But actually, their actions aren't reflecting on that, or their attitude. They say things like, I can't be bothered, or it's too hard, or I hate working with people. Seriously, a lot of these things, they manifest. So if you want to be a millionaire, would a millionaire talk like that? No, they wouldn't. So understand what is your goal and then start behaving. Match your behavior with your goals. People have these most amazing goals, but you know what else? They are very modest. And when they stay at the modest level and self-sabotage and all the humility and thinking, oh my God, please people, and begging and feeling sorry for themselves, it ain't gonna work. It can't work because there is too much negative language. Now, I know maybe you think that, this is basic stuff, that, we all have to be positive and, be all nice, and it's easier said than done, isn't it? But as a business leader, you need to think very strategically. You you have to stop taking things personally. And this is so important. You must not take things personally, because if you keep taking everything personally, it just builds up frustration, anxiety, resentment, and just in general, you're going to end up hating your business and just every morning just think, oh my God, I don't want to go to work. But your business is whatever you make it. Your business is what you make it. So when I talked about setting a goal, decide first what you want and then reflect. Are your actions actually reflecting on what you want to achieve? A few days ago, I was talking to a lady and she said, oh, I want to be a millionaire. I want to go out and go over the world and empower people. And then the question was, okay, well, what do you want to do for that? And what are you ready and willing to do? Or what sort of process do you think that you need to set in place? Or what do you know, what investments are you looking at putting? Oh, I don't want to spend any money on that. Right? So you want to be a millionaire, but you don't want to invest a penny in order to get to millions. Do you think that millionaires, when they say self-made millionaires, do you think that they did it all by themselves? The last thing that you want to do in your business, if you want to be a millionaire, you got to think like a millionaire. You can't think that you're going to do it all. The entrepreneurial syndrome, so to say, is that, oh, I'm going to do it all. And I had this problem actually. In the beginning, I said, because I'm so passionate about what I do and I have extremely high standard of work and everything. Well, I don't use the word perfect, but everything need to look really good. So when I'm in a working environment, my standard is very high, and obviously in employment, and you know, you get disappointed with people, your boss and everybody else, because you want to strive for the best. So that's why I decided that I should be an entrepreneur, because I want to give more and more value. And that's, by the way, the most important thing you want to do in your business is give more value. The more value you give, the more money you make. But that's another story altogether. The fact of the matter is, a lot of entrepreneurs, leaders, managers, they think, oh, I have to do it all by myself so that it gets done properly. Sure, there are a lot of things that you need to do yourself. However, if that's the mindset that you've got throughout your business and growing your business, it's not going to work. You can't achieve success on your own. You need to develop partnerships. You need to take, basically model somebody else who is already doing what you want to do. You need to hire consultants that can build the right processes that actually help you scale the business. Because if you are physically calling everybody all day long, every day, and writing one email at a time every day and delivering everything is requiring you to be there in order to make money. It is not a scalable business. And I'm not criticizing you. I just want to put things into perspective. Maybe you have already built systems. If you have, fantastic. When I say systems, what are those? For example, online programs, online courses that you can automate, marketing and sales processes that are automated, running in the background, bringing you leads. That's what I specialize in doing. But the thing is you got to think strategically in your business. Don't just say, well, I'm going to do everything and I'm going to try a little bit of everything and everything is great. I am that person too. But the more I was kind of getting in and all these ideas coming to me and oh my God, I can do anything. And when you reach a point in your business, especially at the start, and you think, oh my God, I've got so much potential, you're unlocking more and more and more. We've got to be careful with that, because a lot of entrepreneurs tend to take on too much. And again, it's because you can. So that's a good sign. But then we go to the extreme again, and actually we start working very inefficiently. So if you work like 12 plus hours a day, which I was doing for a few years, you're not very effective anymore. You might get things done, but actually, do you really complete the projects? A lot of entrepreneurs and leaders, they have a problem that they've got everything is like they've got loads of stuff going on, loads of different projects. They're all up in the air and kind of 80% done, but they're not quite done. If it's not done, it's not done. So the important thing is really evaluate, what do I need to focus on right now? And that takes me actually to the core of this whole video and talking about this subject is, thinking, why are these things happening to me, or why aren't they happening to me? The point and the reason is it all comes down to your decision making. It comes down to your decision making. Who is the first person that people blame in an organization? When you've been working in organizations and you say things go to shit, you blame the manager because they made the decision or they didn't deal with something very well. Management, leadership, business ownership is all about problem solving. And the way you solve problems in your business determines everything. Firstly, I don't really want to call them problems because it sounds negative, but let's face it, they are problems. There are challenges that you need to overcome pretty much every day. And if you take these things personally, it's not going to work. You're going to be crying all over the place and thinking self-sabotaging and thinking, what's the matter with me? The really important thing is, have you made decisions that take you further in your business? Are you making constructive decisions? Do you actually know what decisions you're making every day? Because decisions happen subconsciously. We think, we just kind of, things just happen. Things don't just happen. You invite them to you. If you go left, you go left, and on the left rather than going right, you face what is on the left. But if you make the decision to go that way, your life could be completely different. So think really, really carefully. What do you want from your business, and how is your decision making affecting your current business status? Are you resenting change? Because a lot of people, they want everything, yeah? I want everything. So I'm right there with you. I want it all. I'm one of these people that actually say, I'm here to change the world. And I am absolutely determined to do that. Whether it's not changing the world, because that's a bit abstract concept, but changing the world means changing people. Yeah, changing the way that people do things, changing the way that people see themselves, changing the way that people communicate. Because we humans are amazing. We really are. We have so much potential, so much, growth in us that a lot of the time is being suppressed. So I see so much potential in people. I love working with people. However, and in order for me to be good at that, I've done a bunch of stuff, and I keep collecting feedback and trying to understand where else do I need to change and evolve and improve in order for me to achieve the next level. So let me give you a couple of examples of what I have done in terms of my decision making and how I've been able to grow my business in a couple of different ways that I really, really wanted it to. But first I had to know what I want. And to be honest, I write this down every single day. Some people say, oh, what? Well, you write every day. You write your goals down every day. I haven't got time to do that. If you haven't got time to write your goals down for like 20 seconds a day in the morning, forget it. You'll never get it. You will never get it, because you need to have absolute focus into what you want to become. What do you want to become? It's not about just the material wealth and all the money, because the money comes and goes, yeah? A lot of people have made lots of money and then they lost it all. So don't just think about the money, but think about who are you becoming. When I kept thinking I'm going to be an international speaker who can motivate and empower people to change their lives, that then leads me to think, okay, how am I going to do that? I'm not going to just go around and say, hey, do you need a speaker in here? Do people need a little bit of motivation? No. I need to think, what do the people in the positions where I want to go to, in the decision makers, so what do they need to hear? So, for example, I've been able to work at universities abroad and in the UK, but I developed certain relationships in order to be able to do that. And then I've also been able to access some really prestigious organizations that I never dreamed of being able to work with. It's like this one organization that I started to work with. It's the type of organization that some other consultants would strive to work for years and years, if not even decades, because it's so prestigious. Why am I sharing that? Is that because I had absolute clarity in what I want to achieve. If you don't have clarity, you will just drift from one day to the next. You got to decide what is your purpose, have definite sense of purpose. But when I did that, I didn't just give them a call. I didn't just say, hey, do you need this? And then they said no. First of all, no means not much. You got to keep pushing. Keep pushing, because your vision needs to be bigger than you. If I'm here to empower the whole world, then you got to take your responsibility very seriously. You got to take your purpose and role very seriously. That means if somebody says no a couple of times, you're not going to stop. Like, you can't stop just because somebody said no, or don't get demotivated. I know it's easier said than done. I've gone through all of this myself. But the important thing is, look at it logically. Don't take it personally. But set the goal, know what you want. Know what you want. And then start working on that. And then you build processes. I built all these programs and these program structures that I sent them. And then they say, oh, that's interesting. Could you send this too? And I'm thinking, oh my God, it took me 2 weeks just to get that one document done. And I'm not even quite sure what I'm doing sometimes. That's another thing. A lot of people stop doing something because they're not sure what to do or how to do it. Seriously, Don't procrastinate over silly things, but rather try and understand who are you serving here. Remember, everybody says that, oh, I'm doing what I want. Business is my business, it's my business, it's my baby. Sure, I think that way too. Maybe on the inside, but you don't come across like that into the world. Your business ultimately has nothing to do with you. It's about serving other people. Obviously, it's got to do with how you portray that message, how you deliver your service. But you could have the best of intentions, but if nobody's going to buy the product, you've got to make sure that your product is viable in the market. Who needs it? What do they need? I made so many mistakes in negotiation situations. Let me tell you, because I don't want you to make the same mistakes. I've assumed I know what they need, because I'm a bit of a troubleshooter, and I sense, I don't know if you're like this or if you know people like that, but I sense when something's wrong. I sense the ambience, the atmosphere, and I'm very quick at troubleshooting what the actual issue is. But just because I am assuming these things and I'm looking at it from my perspective doesn't actually mean that that's what the problem in the organization is or with the people. Don't ever assume anything, but ask more questions. Ask more questions. Entrepreneurs, they can be stubborn. Right, stubbornness can work in a couple of different ways for you. You must be stubborn because you can't give up. You gotta keep going. You gotta keep going, and you gotta also eliminate negative impacts from around you. However, don't be so stubborn that you keep saying, oh, I want to do things my way. I'm not going to listen to anyone else. Yes, you should be very careful who you listen to in your business, but don't be stubborn. Again, this comes down to your decision making. Do you know what kind of decisions you make every day? Get really clear on this, because everything that you decide, everything, and when we say decision, every thought is a decision. When you say, oh, can't trust anybody, that's a decision you've made. That's a decision. You've made a decision that you can't trust anyone. And I got to tell you one thing, that was me, and that's why I'm using it as an example. I had pretty tough going times when I was a kid and when I was a teenager, and, still is. We all do. But I saw a lot of lying, a lot of manipulation, and I got really disheartened by how horrible some people can be. What did I do? I made an assumption, I made a generalization, then that means everybody is like that, or you can't trust anyone, or I have to do everything by myself. No, no, no. The more I was doing that, the worse my career is going, the worse my business is going. Any success in any area of your life comes down to one particular thing. Yes, it's a decision making, but that decision making leads to this one particular thing, and that is relationships. How do you maintain your relationships? How do you speak to people? Are you open-minded? Do you listen to them? Do you listen to feedback from the right people? Not anybody, because everybody's got life advice to give, yeah, but nobody quite knows how to follow their own advice. So make sure that you're listening to the right people in business or whatever you're doing. So make sure that you really reflect on how you build relationships. And maybe you should reflect on some of your personal relationships at home. Because at the end of the day, your attitude from home comes to work as well. So the behavior isn't that much different. But if you're always snappy and frustrated and moody and just resentful, you're going to have a tough life, tough business, because you're going to be disappointed with a lot of people. But if you approach things with already frustration and disappointment, it's not going to work, because you have this blockage. You have to learn to love your business. How to love your business is to set it up in a way that makes sense to you, that feels authentic and good and enjoyable for you. And some people say, oh, that's naive thinking. Maybe. I'd rather be naive. But the thing is, I'm actually being really realistic. I used to think, and actually a lot of people told me, Suzanne, you're so naive. You can't do things like that. Hell yeah, I can. Watch me. You got to absorb that same attitude in life. If somebody says, oh, I don't think you can do this, you should say, watch me. Not sure how long it's going to take, but watch me do it. Maybe you don't even want to say it out loud. I used to say, because I'm such a tough guy, oh, watch me, I'll show you, I'll do it. And I did it. Now I don't feel so much need to convince other people anymore. It's not about other people. The only person you're trying to convince your whole life about the decisions you make is you. Because why do we have all this self-doubt? Because if you have a lot of self-doubt and resentment and frustration and disappointment, listen to these signals. Listen to this signal, because you're not making the right decisions. I'm sorry, I'm being honest here, but If you have a lot of frustration and negativity in your life, it just goes to show that you're not making decisions that take you forward in life or in your business. And that's not to criticize, it's just to take on board and say, do you know what, that's right. Because if you always do what you always have done, you will always get what you always have got, right? You can't keep making the same decisions, acting the same way, and then expect a different result. It's quite amusing how a lot of people do that. I used to do that. I'm thinking, oh my God, I've tried everything and nothing works. People say they've tried everything. It's not possible. If they've tried everything, they would have already achieved it. I mean, everything. So be careful with the language that you use, because, your language creates your environment. So what can I say here as some tips for you to take on and what to do now is, first of all, get really clear about what kind of person you are. And I say this to everyone. Oh, do these personality tests, right? I specialize in doing personality tests, and I do that now in corporations. Absolutely love it. Is when people actually read about themselves and what kind of person they are, how do they communicate, how do they behave. They take full responsibility. When I read my personality, my first ever personality test, I didn't even know that they existed. But there's loads of free ones online. One particular one is 16personalities.com. 16personalities.com. It's a free test. Seriously, just get it done. It's so enlightening if you haven't done it yet. But when I did that test, it said my character type was the debater. Right? You can probably already sense that I debate about a lot of things and I've got a little bit of a crazy streak going on. That's fine. But when I realized that and I read about how that approach has affected, it also had an adverse impact in my life, I realized, my God, this is exactly why things have happened to me the way they have. Awareness is always the first step. Most people, they just drift and go from one day to the next, like in this panic mode, this stressed out mode. Stop doing that. Understand yourself and actually learn to embrace your own character and personality. Don't try and desperately change into something that you're not, because it's never going to work. And I'm sure you've heard that before, but still a lot of people try and push themselves to become something that they're not. And don't get me wrong, I love learning and self-development, and there's so much you can learn about life, other people, and everything else around that. But at the same time, you are already really unique as you are. And if you learn to really leverage your character and personality, that's what's going to make all the difference in your business, in your life in general, but also in your business. Because there's one thing that I often say about weaknesses in particular. If you don't know your weakness, you will always be vulnerable to what other people say. You'll always be defensive. You'll always have this ego and this shield and say, oh, no, I'm doing it this way, I'm doing that way. As long as you keep that stubborn streak on and just keep saying, oh, I don't want protection, this unnecessary protection, you can't grow, you can't move forward. You got to understand where your limitations are. When I realized my limitations, I hired people to address those limitations. And I outsource people to do specific jobs, because if I keep doing things that I'm not very good at, first of all, one, you're going to spend a lot of time doing it. Two, you're going to do it really badly. So what's the point in doing it in the first place? So, for example, when we've been working, me with my team, for a few years now in different projects and helping other entrepreneurs really set up concrete processes and systems, particularly in digitalization. So digitalizing your processes is the ultimate way to scale your business. It's the ultimate way for you to also showcase your expertise to people in a very specific and strategic way, so that you get qualified leads. You get people coming to you because they want to work with you. You don't want to be chasing everybody. You want to be the one who is chased. Don't go around chasing everybody and saying, please buy from me. Oh my God, they didn't buy from me. Stop all of this negative language and all this pity talk. Sorry to be honest here, but seriously, you're only stopping yourself from growing. You gotta understand, where is it that I am not performing that well, and then address it. Because if you don't address it, it's gonna come and haunt you. And it probably is already, because you feel that it's not working that well. So really importantly, get to know yourself, understand your decision making, understand when you're talking negatively and limiting yourself, because in business, your potential is limitless. But you got to understand that. and also understand your money mindset. And I want to finish off with talking about money, because everybody's in business. Well, most people, they are in business for two particular reasons. One, they love what they do, and two, obviously, because they love what they do, they know that they can make money out of it. So it's often money or particular specialism or interest, and combined, get those combined, and your life is going to be absolutely amazing. But the important thing is understand how you perceive money, because everybody wants lots of money, but nobody wants to ask for it. Nobody wants to ask for money. They have this love-hate relationship with money. You got to start loving money. Don't be in love with money. So don't crave for it, that it's the only thing. But you got to understand that in order for you to get money, you need to be comfortable to talk about it. You need to be comfortable to talk about your packaging, about your pricing, about getting people's feedback on it, about the customer's feedback. If they say, no, I can't do it, it's too expensive. Okay, well, let's talk about that a little bit. Don't just say, oh, F off then. Well, I'm not going to do it. Understand what is going on in your people's minds, in your clients' minds. Seriously, the most important thing you need to do in your business is understand your client, right? Because if you don't understand them, you'll never succeed. And that comes back to the relationship when we start what we talked about a few minutes ago. But importantly, is really start to appreciate money. Don't hate it and love it at the same time. People love and hate it. Just embrace it. Look at it as an opportunity. Besides, money is a consequence of you providing value to someone. So stop sabotaging and stop thinking, oh my God, if you're in a bad financial situation, for example, don't self-sabotage and say, oh, it's my fault, I'm bad with money and all that. The more you keep saying those things, the worse you will get. So start to shift that thinking and actually educate yourself on money. What does money actually mean? Where does it come from? Who invented it? I'm not going to talk to you about it because that's going to take forever. But I've researched money a lot. And understanding money, how to invest, how not to invest, how to consider return on investment. A lot of people, they want to make $1 million, but they don't want to even spend £200 on something. Like, it's crazy thinking. So you got to get really clear as to what are you ready to do to make your business a success, because your business success is obviously other people's success because you're providing value to them. So take this seriously. Know where your weaknesses are, where you need to learn. Start learning, start studying, ask more questions. Ask more questions. I used to be, and I still am, as you can see, because I've been talking for nearly half an hour without stopping. I talk a lot. But the further I grow, the less I talk. I might be talking now because I'm the only one talking just to the video, but in conversations, I just listen because I'm super curious to hear about what is going on in people's lives, how are they thinking, where they want to go, and if there's any way I can help them to get there. If they don't want it, that's fine. Lots of people love it, some people don't. Just move on. But there are some people that are absolutely needing you right now. They need you. They need your expertise. So the longer you doubt yourself, the less you can help those people. So if you stop doubting yourself, I worked with one client a couple of weeks ago and we finally got a video out. And she's had this massive mental barrier about who the hell is ever going to watch my video. We finally got the video out. And at least 5 people in the first couple of hours says, wow, this is so inspiring. You're amazing. When can we catch up? Right? So finally, when she got over her own fear, she realized it wasn't about her. It's about you providing value to others. But then you want to do that strategically, because I also know that a lot of people, they do work for free, they give something for everybody and end up working lots and lots without really getting any proper compensation for it. So get clear on your value, and this is something that I can help you with. So really important now, do your personality test, understand how you make decisions, educate yourself on money mindset, understand where your weaknesses are as well, so that you can look for people or solutions that will resolve that problem. Take full responsibility of where your business is going, because as you know, it all depends on you. It all depends on the quality of your decisions. It depends on your decisions, and the quality of your decisions determine the quality of your business. The quality of your decisions determine the quality of your business. So think about that and let me know. Let me know what you want to do. Share your dream, share your passion. The more you write about it, the more you put it out there, the more it's going to come to you. Share it with everyone. Well, I don't know everyone, but share it with the world and start sharing it with yourself and strengthen that belief, because that's when it's going to start coming to you. Love yourself and love other people, because relationship is all that really matters in business. Everything comes down to relationships. So thanks for joining on this little session and this half a rant, and hopefully some of it was useful. Now it's all about educating yourself, believe in yourself, and go for it, because the world needs you.